Hey there, it's Phoenix Amore. Alright, this is take 3 because my little son here was sniffling all in the last one. So let's start over. This is Phoenix Amore. Good morning. How is everybody doing? I need to basically address the whole thing with the dream stuff. Now, when I talked about in the lyrics being thoroughly prepped, spiritual adept, this is what I meant. When stuff manifests to me, because I'm understanding the symbolism in the dreams, I can then come and say certain things. Now, the problem became this. Some people started liking to have some insight, and I explained something to my mother. I said, it's very strange because some used it as more of a way to try to maneuver around situations rather than try to change. The whole point of discernment is about the change and the growth. Some of them did not get that, and I think that's where a lot of the really spiritual people get it, where we're like, this is about them needing to change. That is why dust your feet is so important. And my mother cracked up. I said, dust your feet is protection for the messenger, not for the people getting the message. So basically what that means is something getting ready to hit the fan. Apparently you have some very bad karma because you've been doing some stuff, whatever. And then the messenger is supposed to say, now I delivered that, now can you let me be? Problem is, when I kept saying they won't even let me dust my feet, that's when other people start seeing she not lying. They start feeling a little entitled, didn't they? Is that the truth of the matter? Truth of the matter is they did. Now here it is, right? After all that time, they had to step back because I'm like, I don't know who signed with who. Guess what? There's a lot of me out there. I'm 40 years old, a mother, right? Guess what? I had a life outside of y'all. When I was meant to come in and say the veil broke, that was the message. When I was writing certain lyrics, remember, again, that's what people remember when they're looking back at some of the lyrics. When I said to somebody, you always starting ish, and it's going to catch up with you, right? That's what I left it at. And she kept on talking a little stuff and this and that, and then here goes the trial with the brother. Whoops. So now, guess what? Her character, right, as much money as she may have, when it comes time to testify, they're going to take it with a grain of salt. She don't have as much pull now because of a couple of things. That's what I was trying to explain to you guys a long time ago. The way you guys move. And what happened with that? You already know who. Mr. Scissor himself, right? I guess there was enough of a little buzz about a couple of things that I put out there where he felt he needed to come around and say the best female this and this is still right then you're already trying to start some mess. So that is what people remembered from my blog all that time, is their entitlement at that point. It's like, okay, yeah, just because I had a few little dreams does not mean we're connected like that. If you understood every dream that I had when I said the one called the beast, right? Remember, people were reading my blog. I guess y'all forgot. And I kept it moving. All these dreams, what I'm saying, I kept it moving. I'm the messenger, right? In that regard, that don't mean we tight. That don't mean we connected. Understand that very clearly. So again, dust your feet is protection for the messenger, not for the ones getting the message. So this dream last night, when I'm holding this baby, this is what I'm talking about the lyrics being sacred, right? The doctrine is what I called it, because I know that's kind of like one of those things where I can look back at my lyrics and say, now I know what the dream symbols are. So holding this baby. Think about the other song, right, that I wrote. Fresh as a newborn baby. You thought I was toothless. Truth is, I'm effing ruthless. So me holding this baby, this is now somebody embracing that aspect of it. It doesn't mean it's somebody soft. That's the key. That's me knowing, again, the symbolism in my dreams. Now, there's some dog, right, when I say friend, okay, because most everybody knows that symbolism, right, mad that this person is embracing that element, right? That baby, fresh as a newborn baby. You thought I was toothless. Truth is, I'm effing ruthless. So we already see a performance in somebody where people are like, okay, he's found himself again. But what I showed you, right, that previous game, I said I gotta let him feel what that was like to be linked, right? Because they put that article out there with that picture. Boom, game slipped. And I showed everybody that for a reason, right? This is the same person that has started all that nonsense about so and so supposedly the best rapper. And guess what? People are like, I'm this lady Phoenix Amore, Catherine is my real name, was already delivering the message and was moving around. So what is he now back like everything's all hunky-dory after this whole thing with this ISIS craziness? And I'm showing you how all that was linked. So it was bigger than what people even thought before. So now people are like, whoa, this is some heavy stuff. Hello, that's what I was speaking on before. So the dog trying to bite the baby's foot, that wasn't me, that was him. So that's one of his friends now turned, right? That's why I said the dog was so angry that this person was now there, that I knew something was going to break through, right? So when I woke up with a little bit of cramp, didn't really hurt that bad, but I already knew. So just to let you know how powerful that stuff is, once I woke up and I said something, then my foot relaxed. I'm like, all right, whatever, this little person here understand, because to me they manifest like a mini Doberman. In their mind they're probably like a pit bull, right, and used to having this kind of power. But to me, depending on what level you are spiritually, for real, that's why I talked about thoroughly prepped spiritual adept. To me, that person manifested like this dog, but a mini Doberman. So that's the difference. So depending on what level they're on, like some manifest like wolves to me. So those are the ones I'm like, this person is a little bit higher on that tier, right? And usually the wolves that I see in that regard, I'm speaking on the dark side of things. That's the difference I need people to understand. So at that point, right, when I knew to preemptively put my hand into the dog's mouth, it's basically a show of authority. When you think about when people train dogs, or however you want to say it, right? But in this case, it wasn't about training. It was bite as hard as you can. I needed that dog at that time to understand you don't have the kind of power you think you have. And so that's the element of me putting the fist in and bite. And the dog did bite as hard as he could, but seeing my face still straight, like, all right, so now you did that, now what? And then I walked away. That's how stuff really manifests. And that's when you talk about somebody being a healer or somebody being able to see certain things. That's it. You cannot speak for another person's dreams in that regard. So even though I do help with dream interpretation, one thing I always tell people is, in your waking state, you also need to know your language with God. So to some people, that's why I reiterate, if the person was a baby in the dream and people be like, oh, that means he's soft. No, I'm talking about my lyrics. My lyrics are sacred, like some sacred beads. That's why I said that. So anybody who kept trying to interpret everything going on, that's why I was like, why are they acting like I'm not speaking English? I had to come out and start speaking again because people were getting too wacky. And I said something very clear about that judge. I said, maybe, right? And this is why people are like, why do they keep making it about Phoenix Amore? They don't even know at this point. But I said, maybe this judge was saying, you keep getting in trouble. You're signed to this label. Maybe if you signed elsewhere, you maybe wouldn't get in that kind of trouble, because sometimes it's about the company you keep. That is simple logic. And I said maybe. I wasn't there. But that's between them now. But I did want to give you that food for thought in that capacity where I'm like, okay, they need to step back and look at it a little bit different. Take care.